This is the 17th year for the Art Harvest Studio Tour of Yamhill County. The tour, which is the first 2 weekends in October, is a great opportunity to talk to artists. Visiting an artist's studio can be a fascinating experience. In McMinnville, we spoke with Phyllice Bradner. She's a printmaker and a silk painter. A visit to her studio is not complete without a demonstration of printmaking.
I love doing the Art Harvest Studio Tour because I think I'm the only printmaker in it, have been for several years, and people have not seen this going on before, and I demonstrate the printing and I talk about how I make the different kinds of prints. And this is an area that, you know, is if you don't actually have somebody describing it to you, you're not sure how it works. I come up with a design and then I decide which portion of the design is going to be white and which is black, and then I paint my design on the plate with my my acid resist. And what this is it is future floor wax with blue food color in it, so I can see what I've painted. You see that I also have a little graininess on this plate, and that comes after I'm done painting the design with my future floor wax. Then I take a spray bottle of spray paint and I just do one swipe from a distance so that I can get these little dots all over it. Because if my black area doesn't have little holes to hold the ink, it will just wipe clean when I put the ink on it. So I have to have something that'll hold the ink. This is ferric chloride. It's not toxic. This is a photographic tray. Okay, this is a little piece of masking tape, and I'm just putting it on the back of my plate so that when I want to pull it out of the acid, I've got something to pull it out with, so I don't have to grope around in the dish for it. Now I'm going to put it in there, and it's going to take about 10 minutes. I don't really time it. I watch it because it'll start bubbling, and then I'll take it out and I'll test and see if I've got it deep enough. And okay, so I'm going to take this out of the acid now. Let me dry it off. And I'm going to hope I got enough texture, because I can see an awful lot of that paint bubbled off. There aren't many things that take this future floor wax off, but the acetone in the nail polish remover takes it off. And now we're ready for the printing phase. Okay. So now I use all kinds of papers. So like this is a handmade paper, but you know, here's another piece of sort of unusual handmade paper. And then I use like watercolor papers, or you know, different textures. I try all kinds of different things. The heavier papers, like this watercolor paper, I actually soak in a water bath. So I'm going to soak a few of these pieces so that they'll be ready for me to use. When I take it out of the water here, it's sopping wet. That's not the way you print it. So you've got to get it dry enough so that it's only moist. It's not, you know, drippy wet. It's way easy to ink a block print. You just take that little roller and you just roll that ink on and you're ready to rock and roll. But it's not easy to ink an intaglio etching plate. I cover the whole plate with the ink. I have a little purple here, so I'm going to put the purple in the face of the kite. Now this will all kind of blend together when I start to wipe it off, but generally it'll stay in, you know, the similar places where I put it. And each print, each handmade print has to be individually inked like this. So you can't get more than one print off of one inking. We're going to start to remove the ink from the places where we don't want it. This is all toward the process of getting ink off of the parts that I don't want it to be on. And then I start to rub it. Like I say, that's a fairly time-consuming task to get the plate all ready to go. And so I'm trying to make sure that the areas that are supposed to be shiny actually aren't grabbing ink. Okay, so now got the ink on the plate. I'm going to take one of my pieces of paper that I've got waiting here in the blotter, and I'm going to position it. I've got this grid so that I can tell if I'm getting it like generally in the center of the piece. And then I take some extra paper here to protect the blanket from the wet paper. But we'll see what we get. Now you see this groove here from being pressed in? If you buy an art print that doesn't have the evidence of having gone through the press, it's probably just a print of a print. People often don't have any faith in their own ability to produce art. I get people who tell me, oh, I can't draw a straight line. And I say, you know what? Art isn't about straight lines. Art is about the lines that aren't straight. And you probably have some artistic ability in you that you don't even know about. And the chances are pretty good that when you tell me you have no talent or you have no skill, somebody in your childhood told you that your tree didn't look like a tree. And you've carried that with you. Now you're 50 years old, and you've carried that with you your whole life, that I can't draw anything. My trees don't look like trees. And I'll tell you what, Picasso's people don't look like people. And Gauguin's people don't look like people. And Cézanne's work is all out of perspective. And it's really the thing that you do that's different than the perfect image that makes you an artist.
The way it works is you get a map, a catalog, buy a ticket, and you get to see all 40 artists. All you need to know is on the website.